Good morning, everybody. My name is Yarik, Kryvoi. I'm one of organizers of this conference. Very happy to see you here in these early hours of Saturday, particularly those who made a very long way to come to London. I know that we have speakers from Japan, from Belarus, from Canada. It's a great pleasure to see you here. It's our second annual conference on Belarusian studies. It started actually, the whole idea started around 3 years ago when we were organizing an annual lecture on Belarusian studies, which will also take place today in the evening. And then we thought, and Stephen was one of those who promoted this idea from UCLCs, why not to have a conference actually around the same dates? Because there is apparently interest in Belarusian studies in this country. There are people who want to share what they have done in terms of research. And we thought it would be a good idea. So I think what makes this conference unusual compared to many other conferences is that it is a very low-cost conference. So probably some of you came here using EasyJet or Ryanair from Vilnius because it's very cheap. So when you go to these sort of airlines, you are not served lunch, you are not served coffee, you have to pay for everything yourself. But if you do it right, you can get a very good deal. So this conference is very similar because we don't have any major big sponsor. And those organizations which you have here as three co-organizers actually spent either no money or very little money to organize this conference. So the first is UCLCs, who kindly offered us this space, and they did it the same last year. Ostrogorski Center was in charge primarily of putting everything together, of contacting the speakers, basically intellectual background of the conference. And the Skaryna Library in London kindly contributed to organizing the first panel and also contributed to other parts of this conference. As many of you know, this year we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Belarusian printing. And there will be more events devoted to this important date later. So tomorrow we will have events at the Belarusian Library, and there will also be a church service in North London, and on Monday there will be an event at the British Library. So I hope that many of you will be able to make it to those events as well, not only to the event today. This conference is also organized in cooperation with the Journal of Belarusian Studies, which is the oldest English language periodical on Belarusian studies in the world. So it was started in late 40s and until 80s it was steadily printed here in London. And then there was a period between 1980s and 2000s actually when it was not there. And now you can see I think it's the fourth issue of a renovated journal, of the renewed journal. So last year, a few papers which were presented actually made it to the issue of the journal. And you can see this journal there. You can buy it for £9, but you can also download most of the articles, actually all the articles, for free from internet. And so because this conference is a low-cost event, we encourage you to contribute to the costs of this conference. So if you could give £5 or £10 and drop it into that box, which you will find next to that wall, that will be very much appreciated. We will not charge you for coffee, we will not charge you for tea, so feel free to drink and enjoy it as much as you can. And however, we are not paying for lunch, and so for lunch we will be able to give you a few ideas, as Peter will explain in a moment. The other thing which makes this conference unusual in a way is because we also record all lectures, all presentations, and then put those recordings online as podcasts. So if you have any issues with it, if you don't want your presentation to be uploaded online, let me know. Otherwise, I will edit them and we will post it online within the next few months, hopefully. And if you want your paper to be considered for publication in the Journal of Belarusian Studies, please let me know or send an email to the email address of the journal.